Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are live stream for the Komodo platform Atomic Dex Stress Test. Event number 4, privacy is the theme. We've got Firo, we've got the BPSAA, we've got Pirate Chain, we've got Komodo. Nice roundtable happening. It's going to be very exciting. A lot of swapping has been done already, and there's much more to come. We're about halfway through here. So glad you're joining in this experience, this event. It's pretty big overall, and we're very excited. So just quickly going to introduce everyone. Behind the scenes, we have Otto and Jay Charming. Lovely. And
Yeah, hello again.
yeah, we've got now also Draeth from BPSAA, Blockchain Privacy Security Adoption Alliance, and Pirate Chain. We've also got Lutz, Sakata, and Wookie writing those articles. We're going to get a quick introduction of everybody, as well as Ruben from Firo and Hash Rates. Draeth, you want to give us a quick introduction? Say hi.
Yeah, sure thing. Hello, everyone. My name is Draeth. I am a captain over at Pirate Chain. I'm also the founder of the BPSAA. Essentially, I help lead Pirate Chain and its endeavors and support wherever I can with the First Mates and everybody else. The BPSAA, I help organize everything. And then there's obviously a multitude of people underneath and with me with that help make everything the BPSAA does great. So, but yeah, aside from that, I'm an engineer by day, and yeah, that's that.
Sweet. Thanks for being here. Next in line, let's see, we got Hash Rates there. Do you want to say hi and what you're here to share today?
Hey, everybody, Hash Rates. Also with the BPSAA, I represent Ether1. We are one of the 4 founding original founders along for the organization. I come more from the business development world and marketing, and I got invited to join when they approached Ether1, and I got spearheaded with it. And it's great to be part of the BPSAA and talk about privacy and alliances. And I'm going to be speaking more from the business development and marketing side today.
Amazing. We're super happy to have you here today, Ether1 Hash Rates. And that was a great introduction. I'm just going to ask Ruben from Firo. You're going to introduce yourself next. And then if you can institute the push to talk, that would be perfect. Or mute your mic when you're not talking. Okay. Hi, Ruben from Firo.
Hi, yes, yeah, glad to be here. I am Ruben, the project steward of Firo, which was formerly known as Zcoin. I've been with the project since almost its inception in 2016 and kind of like grew into the role of steering Firo and its research as well. So yeah, that's kind of a bit about me.
Good job. Thanks so much. And we'll check in here with the big bad Lutz. How's it going?
All right, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good to have you here too. You want to say a quick word?
Thank you. Well, I'm with both projects, Pirate and BPSA. Everybody knows I'm a pirate to the bone, and I defend privacy. I believe privacy is our path. That's the only way we should be going right now because of what's going on in our system at the moment. Freedom, the only way to achieve freedom is privacy. So anything that promotes privacy is mainly what I like to work on. And that's what I like to do on a daily basis. So if you see me around, I'm probably fighting the good fight in one of these projects. in the best way I know how.
Definitely evident. Definitely evident. You're putting in a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and it's showing, and everyone appreciates it, I'm sure. So we want to say hi to Sakata. Hi, Sakata. Ollie.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Ollie. Some of you might know me better as Sakata. Kudos to the KMD team for letting Ergo come on tonight and represent their part within the BPSA and privacy as a whole. And in general, I'm looking forward to the discussion we're going to take place in general.
Shout out to all the OG interns from last year, well, last quarter.
Yeah, excellent. Very nice. All right. And then Wookie. Let's say hi to Wookie. If you haven't read any of his articles, check them out.
I'm a first mate over at Pirate Team. As you heard, I write articles. I help out with anything that needs language written down to be printed. And then also help with some decision making and market outreach here and there. Over at BPSAA, I'm with Draeth and the leadership team, getting things organized. And over there also, I help with writing grants for sponsorship of our collaborative projects. So happy to be here. Thanks.
Wonderful. There's some really great environment right now. We're gonna have a really nice roundtable coming up. Maybe Jay Charming, you want to chime in and just say hi, or are you busy kicking around in the back?
I could definitely come say hi for a second. Always kicking around in the back, but Otto's the real talent back there. He's basically doing everything. I'm just running around pretending to do stuff, basically. I'm JC. For any of you that don't know, I work with Komodo doing operations and all kinds of little funny business in the back, helping out with stuff, sometimes up the front. And you'll see me around. It'll happen.
Yeah, you'll definitely hear again from Jay Charming quite soon. We're in this onboarding process. If you've been doing this already, there's not much to say too much more. If you actually haven't done it yet, it's not so difficult that you won't figure it out, and we will help you along the way. So stay tuned to any the chat channels in the Discord if you need any of that help. We've got this half hour here to onboard, and then we're working with the 1 hour atomic swap competition hour where there's opportunities for different categories of prizes. So stay tuned for that. And then we're gonna have a more roundtable discussion with all of our friends here joining the stream. And we're gonna round it out with a final, we're gonna have some presentations along the way, by the way. And then we're going to round it out about the prizes, and this is going to be very exciting. So I'm glad you're joining us, tuning in. This is a spotlight on privacy. We're talking about the shadows. You know, Wookie, do you have any thoughts specifically you want to share about privacy right now? Why that? Lutz already mentioned something. Is there anything you would like to say right now about your thoughts? You've written really strong articles, and words in there have really touched me. So let me know what you think about that, and then we're going to work towards the onboarding process.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. Just a few quick words. Some of you may be familiar with these ideas as I've written them over in my Hacker Noon and Medium articles. Just very, globally speaking, and as we all have heard, accelerated by the pandemic, everything, is going digital. And I strongly believe if you follow the talk on FinTwit and macroeconomic talks on Twitter, central bank digital currencies are going to be a thing. And many countries around the world have already, gone onto the bandwagon of national digital currencies. Now, I understand we have a lot of audience from Indonesia, and I've been looking more into that sector just a little bit over the past couple of days. And looks like the Indonesian government is also looking into having a nationalized digital currency. And so as you all know, with blockchain, using these kinds of digital currencies, everything is transparent. And I strongly believe, that, over the past decade with Facebook, this has been the era of surveillance capitalism, where they, sell your data, take your data, repackage it, and then use it and sell it to target you. And I think in the coming next era is about your money, right? Where you spend your money is your voice and your opinion and your lifestyle. And surveillance over how you spend your money is going to come back and target you, and not just trying to sell you things this time, but if you're using government funds to pay for your COPD treatment because you smoke too much and you're still buying cigarettes, well, that's going to be a ding on you for buying more cigarettes while you're getting treatment for it. So I think privacy is going to be increasingly important, and this is just from the currency point of view. Just looking at the privacy economy, I think in one of my earlier articles, I showed that. So the economy of privacy, right? Straightforward thing, a simple thing that we all can think of is VPNs. The VPN industry has exploded over the last few years, and probably on YouTube, you're seeing a lot of YouTubers promoting ExpressVPN or Surfshark VPN. So that industry is rapidly growing. And I think privacy is going to become more and more of a hot topic. And I think so. Coming back to all this, I think privacy is going to be increasingly important. Whether it's your own private money, of how you spend it, or how you protect yourself. And these are all going to be things that I can touch on more later with what the BPSAA is doing. I could drone on more, but that's why.
No, this is beautiful. That's perfect. That's good timing, and we appreciate that very much. A little taste. Privacy is the theme, and we're just getting started. So we're going to just throw it over to Jay Charming, and he's just going to do a quick review of onboarding and any other information he wants to share right now. Okay, JC, you're there?
Yeah, that was absolutely great. That really sets the tone for this. It's privacy is a very intense topic. So here's what I'm going to do to give BPSAA and Firo and this really, really important topic as much time as possible. I am going to do a bit of a speed run through downloading and setting up the Atomic DEX for users that are here for the first time. And in the meantime, if you've seen this already, because you're probably on your fourth time, start checking your wallets, open up your Atomic DEX. Tony, the person that's doing it all behind the scenes, that's fixing everything and making everything work, is distributing those rewards and raining them into the wallets now over this first half an hour while I do this. So if you were worried that you didn't get any rewards for QDM, if you were worried that you didn't get any rewards from EMC2, those rewards are getting rained in right now. So open up your wallets, check them out while I just do this real quick version of the of speed running through. So let me gotta find my screen. All right, we're good. Otto, I totally delayed you, so you let me know when I'm live.
You are live.
All right, so fourth event for Komodo Atomic DEX stress test event. Everybody's working hard, doing good things. We've got the stress test webpage here at atomicdex.io. Looks like we're up to 86,000 swaps in total. That's pretty awesome. 500 unique users have participated. I'm going to go through the download for doing the Atomic DEX. So you click the download button. That is not what I wanted. That is what I wanted. Okay. Click the download button, save. I'm not even going to open actually. Then when it would run, I would drop it on my desktop and I would open it up as the installer. It's this wonderful installer. Guides you through the whole process. You hit continue. I like to set browse, and because I've been doing this all day, so I like browse and I make a new folder specifically for whatever project is going on, just because otherwise, if I don't do that, then it messes with my actual installation because these are duplicate installations I'm doing all day. We select the Atomic Dex desktop. We accept the terms of service. I'm not going to go through it right now, but I've gone through it in every other video. This is an extremely powerful terms of service. It basically says that you should go clone this Dex, you should go clone this protocol, you should use it on your own, and when you do, it's free. That's the code of conduct for using it, and it is legally embedded. So please do this. Go distribute it. Make sure that everybody in the world has the ability to transfer free data, free assets to one another. Like this is open source technology, and it's going to stay that way forever. You can thank the Komodo team, and in particular the lead dev CA, which is basically the one that's putting the public face on the line to make sure that somebody has to answer, for this stuff as we've been developing it and toe that line. We're going to continue to go past that. We're going to continue to accept the shortcut. It's going to ask me if I'm ready to install. I've already installed it. Do I want to quit? Yes, I do, because it's already here. I'm going to go ahead and double click it and open it up. It always opens up in my side window. And then I have to drag it over because I use my secondary screen for streaming. There we go. And what I've got is I've got wallets here. So you can go through the new wallet process. It's very, very simple. You make a wallet name, you generate a seed. You can watch one of the old videos from one of the past 3 events if you need more information on that. I've already got some wallets made. I like my Komodo wallet. It's my favorite one. Of course it is, why wouldn't it be? And I'm gonna log into it. And enabling assets, and boom, we're here. You can enable and disable assets as are necessary. So I'm gonna enable Firo. Big shout out for Firo for this community spotlight being theirs and them sharing it and working with and doing everything with the BPSAA. So I've got Firo, and I'm going to go ahead and land my test coins as well. Let's see now. There's Morty, and where's Rick? And there we go. Now they're added to my wallet, and then I will show the rest of this when it's time to do the first kickoff for the swap. Thank you for the time. Definitely handing it back to BPSAA and Firo and our amazing MC Giuliano.
That's right. And we've got Ether1 and Ergo here as well, having a bit of a roundtable feel surrounding privacy, security, crypto in general here, and just the excitement surrounding atomic DEX, decentralized exchanges, and really with that privacy spotlight. Let's see here what's going on with you over there with Ergo there, Sakata. You want to share a quick moment with that?
Yes, so in terms of what's actually going on, in the near future, we will be hopefully releasing a stablecoin that is collateralized with Erg itself. This is a joint venture with Emergo, who are the sort of practical implementation arm of Cardano. So we have that to look forward to. The announcement for the release date is yet to come. However, the scheduling for that announcement has been Q4. So if the community and us are lucky, it should be due soon.
Excellent, and good on you. Keep working hard there, and enjoying your time doing this fun stuff. And what do you have to say about this whole theme? Do you have anything that you would like to share with us about privacy, about what's?
Well, I mean, privacy itself is a fundamental right which we are all entitled to. And as Wookie emphasized a moment ago, it is something we are being exploited for. Within the blockchain space, sadly, the fundamentals of privacy are sort of escaping with most projects. Ethereum is a perfect example with the accounts-based model. Every coin that is mined, sent, is traceable to its source. So it doesn't really iterate the principles of privacy. Within Ergo itself, we utilize something called Sigma protocols, which are a sweet spot for Schnorr protocols. These are sort of the fuel for smart contracts. So users of the Ergo environment as such can be comfortable and assured in knowing that none of their data is going to be leaked and all their finances are safe in the hands of the environment itself.
Cool. It sounds like privacy is definitely on the minds of a lot of different people, different projects. Ruben from Firo, what would you like to say about that?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think one of the growing trends, unfortunately, in this year and probably the next is the continued delisting of privacy coins throughout the world in centralized exchanges. And I guess that's why, why we're here at Atomic DEX is also so important, right? But if you take a look at the delistings that are actually happening, such as recently in South Korea, Australia, Japan, even the Netherlands, or even France as well, a lot of it is actually based off very poor assumptions. And for example, many of them cite, illicit terrorist activity or money laundering as reasons to delist privacy coins, when there are many, many reports that actually show that the usage of privacy coins in like darknet markets or illicit activity is actually quite low. And on top of that, I think when those people they cite, oh yeah, the FATF travel rule, or all these anti-money laundering concerns. First of all, the FATF travel rule has nothing to do with privacy coins. I mean, we can comply just as well as cash, which is private and anonymous by default, and as well as other coins. And there's been this kind of false narrative that the only way to comply for AML KYC for coins is to have blockchain analysis. And this has been a narrative that's been pushed by blockchain analysis companies because that's what makes them money. And because of this, they're delisting instead of using other methods like, risk-based approach and all these other methods that have been developed over many, many years to deal with cash and other ways. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to really highlight that a lot of this delistings, no one has spoken out. Everyone's just keeping quiet, like, oh, it's going to happen only to the privacy coins. But realistically, it is a war on cryptocurrency as a whole, and people have to realize that, So that's what we're trying to do at Firo as well. But it's an uphill battle. I mean, like even Komodo themselves has disabled their privacy features to avoid delistings, and to me, that's a real shame. I mean, I understand why they do it, but it's a real shame. We shouldn't have to remove privacy features because of like scaring of regulation and stuff like that.
Agreed. Lovely. The mafia is a really tough combatant, and these guys are like a legitimized mafia at times. So understood. And when I think about how much in fines, big players, big banks, and all these legitimized institutions are asked to pay, are told to pay, are forced to pay, whatever. And you look at that, and you're like, okay, and then they can just keep going. So they just keep doing it and continue, but just pay fines about it and stuff. Meanwhile, complaining about, oh, this privacy coin this or whatever that, it's kind of frustrating, I can imagine.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We are coming up against a break in a couple minutes, so I just want to quickly move on, but we're definitely coming back to you, Ruben. I just want to say one more thing here. Hash rates, you might have the last word here for representing Ether1. Why don't you share a quick moment or quick word here for us?
Sure thing.
You got 30 seconds.
Make no mistake, we are under attack for privacy. And it's not just coins and delisting, but it's our data. And Ether1 was one of the founding members of the BPSAA. And that's what we bring, to the party is we bring immutable, anonymous, hosting. And that's what, besides just your coins and data, there's a whole nother side to this that we all have to be concerned with.
Yeah, beautiful. And thank you for that. And, sometimes maybe the analogy is that accidentally someone has an affair with someone else, and then a baby is made, and that baby should have been made, but that baby ends up becoming something very special and important in our world at the end of the day. And so that made me think about Pirate Chain and how that was a little bit of an offshoot there. from things that had to happen or did happen or whatever you want to describe it as. Anyhow, we're moving on now. We got Jay Charming to talk to us quickly before we take a break, and then we're coming back with that also special swap hour and more talk. We're going to hear from BPSAA, and later we'll hear from Firo. And here we go, Jay Charming.
Yes, there's going to be a break here in just a moment, so I am going to, I need to share my screen again. I am not holding up my end of the deal. Today is an example of when I am just making Otto's life harder, which is most days for Otto, I think.
And remember, Jay Charming's probably been awake almost as much as Otto these past times, so no harm, no foul here.
Thank you. All right, so something that I do want to do is I've got another one of those bounty cash prizes. There were some comments about where was the bounty cash prize from whatever things, what are the things that people can do, and they can earn those extra prizes, and then they can come to our Discord in the Thursday town hall meetings in the weeks to come and claim them. And here is the one. There's actually going to be two. This privacy hour is very, very, very special. There's going to be one at the start and one at the end. And the first one is one that I want everybody to participate in, whether they do it or not, like whether they like stuff or not. I want you to go to our Twitter, and I want you to go to the privacy coin, and I want people to comment and retweet and yell at our handle, or yell at, say, hey VK, you're good. Our Twitter manager is an absolutely phenomenal human being, absolutely fantastic. And right now, they've got some family crisis going on this weekend. And the truth is like we can't like really push stuff aside. We're all humans. We all have stuff going on and everything else. And they are actually juggling covering this stress test while they have some very intense family stuff going on of their own. And that's just like, it's one of those next level things. So please, this is the bounty cash that I'm adding in. I'm pulling out of my own pocket to do this for anybody that comes and claims it. This person has been an amazing human being, that they come and they support Komodo. I want to see that they're supported back. Let them know that they're loved. Let them know that they're cared about. Absolutely great people. All right, that's it. That's the bounty cash for this one. I'm handing it back to you, Giuliano.
Perfect timing. We got a 2-minute break literally coming up. Take your breath, drink your water, and we're coming back around for that hour of swap and some great talk from our guests here, BPSAA. We're looking forward to you. All right, we'll see you in a bit. we're back with this privacy hour of the stress test atomic swap hour. All right, for Komodo platforms, atomic DEX. We got Jay Charming. He's going to jump on and finish off that demo, and then we're back to hear from BPSAA. All right, thanks for joining this live stream. And if you're here having some fun using the atomic DEX, make sure you share your experience on Twitter and other channels. All right, here you go. AJ Charming.
I'm here.
All right, give it to us. We want to get these swaps going.
Yeah. So everybody, it's let's kick off the swap hour. It is definitely started. I'm gonna go ahead and do this kickoff swap, which we've been starting to get used to doing. I'm gonna go find Rick and Morty, and you know what? I think I've been trading a lot of Morty today, so I'm gonna go ahead and trade some Rick off. So let's see now. I'm gonna go to my swap option. I am going to connect against Morty. And boom, here are my orders. I love these orders with the big thick volume candles here coming off the side. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell some Rick into Morty. I'm gonna just slide it down so that I don't have to send it all in one good batch. And I'm gonna start my swap. I'm gonna send it off. Where is my order? Should be here. There it is. All right. I'm going to sit here clicking away, adding to the swap volume, and hand it all over to Firo and BPSAA, and Ollie here with Ergo. Thank you, Giuliano.
All right, to see Giuliano, and also we've got Ether1 joining us, and shout outs to Pirate Chain as well. We're gonna flip over to the blockchain privacy security adoption alliance. Draeth is going to give us some information now. And Draeth, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. And the floor is yours. Take us through this little journey.
Sure thing. Thanks. So the BPSAA, while not a original idea, since the Z Alliance was around and things like that, Tim, one of our crewmates, brought up an idea of having some sort of like coalition of some sort. And then we discussed it in a private channel between me, him, Lutz, Wolf from Turtle Network, and several other people. And eventually came to the conclusion that, this is something that would be really huge in crypto if we can build something like this. So I took the initiative to just go ahead and come up with a name, come up with the ideas, and Wolf from Turtle Network was already on board. Sentinel was somebody that Pirate Chain was already thinking about partnering with for their DVPN on Pirate OS. And then we eventually brought in Ether1 as the last founding member. And from that point, we just started coming up with ideas on how to market this, how to actually work together, and how to create products together and so forth. So through all of that, we started building and building until we built the BPSAA, which, takes developers and marketers and everybody from all projects that are inside the BPSAA and has them work together on different projects for interoperability, co-marketing, upping our internal processes for every project, making sure that each project knows how to really market and knows how to work well with others. And from that point, it just kind of kept growing and growing. So we've onboarded Ergo, we've onboarded Burst, Dragon Chain, and so from that point we just kept growing and growing, and now it's gotten to the point where we're creating a 501c3 nonprofit for educational purposes to not only educate crypto users on various things in privacy and security in crypto and outside of crypto, but also to educate the quote unquote no coiners or the people that are not in crypto and educating them not just about cryptocurrency itself, but also privacy and security in their personal lives, because that's a major pain point these days, as everyone else has pointed out. So, and from that point, I'll pass it off to Hash Rates over here. We'll talk about a little bit about marketing.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Starting out as a founding member of Ether One, and before we get any deeper, I just want to say a kudos to Draeth. You know, when you lead a volunteer organization like the BPSAA is, plus you got to run your own project, and it's a thankless job. And I just want to thank him for stepping up and what he did, because the BPSAA has gone from 4 little small projects and an idea to just now really kicking ass. And it's been amazing. And Draeth does a great job, and I just want to get that out there. You know, and as I was saying earlier, privacy is under attack, particularly here in the United States where I happen to live. It's not just what's happening with your coins and tracing of your trades and now KYC and all these false narratives about, oh, you have to register, we have to know who you are because it's all terrorist money and all this other garbage. You know, that's 0.0001%, but it's even now we're data and everything now. And, you know, having anybody that uses a Gmail account or has their data hosted, you know, you're out of your mind if you want any privacy, and it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. So the time for the BPSAA has never been more important. And it's not about trying to evade the law or break laws or be bad guys. It's just trying to live, you know, with your own privacy and under your own morals. And so Ether One, you know, we come from hosting. Again, we have our own cryptocurrency. We've got a great project. We have our own network. And I agree with the trade. I think this atomic DEX that Komodo's doing is just amazing, right? I mean, DEXs are fantastic. They are the future. Central exchanges are dead. People want to be able to trade with no with interoperability between parties without anybody in the middle. So obviously, this is going to be a great thing for everybody. But you know, from us, it's it's immutable data, it's hosting, it's censor free. And for, you know, just the last plug for Ether One, like our ideal client would be WikiLeaks, right? Guys that are trying to get information out there that are under attack, and those things. So it's more than just your trades and your currency. It's also your own personal data, and everybody needs to do that. With regards to the BPSAA, I've kind of got like 5 or 6 or 7 bullet points that I think are really important. You know, when we started out and Draeth started it, we were really 4 small projects, the founding members. And, you know, really what we're bringing to the table, as I see it, again, from business development and from the marketing side, is the BPSAA brings advocacy, it brings leverage, it brings resources, it brings education, it brings recognition, it brings networking, the kind of talking about personal networking, not networking with regards to sending packets. And also maybe down the road, legislation, which almost sounds counterintuitive to privacy. But when I talk about those 4 topics, when we talk about advocacy, when we got started and Draeth started the BPSAA, again, we were small, 4 small projects. And we're saying, how do we rise above? How do we get the voice out there? How do we turn around and get the word out, like guys like Wookie that write just amazing stuff? And with Ether One Scream and host your data here, we're immutable, we're censor free. And with what Pirate Chain is doing with their privacy coin and Turtle with theirs, and everybody's trying to get the word out, we're too small to rise above the fray. So joining forces gave us a bigger voice, right? And that was that advocacy. With regards to leverage, we now have 330,000 Twitter followers on the BPSA amongst the projects. 330,000. When we started 6 months ago, we had 5,000. So now when it comes to marketing and being part of our alliances, we look for new projects. That one voice now has become a huge voice, and it's only going to get bigger. And so now Ether One is a small project. We're part of a family of 330,000 people, and that's because of BPSAA. Next thing is development and integration for resources. Is we want to be able to cross integrate with other platforms, kind of eat our own dog food. We want to be having our token trade, the Ether One token on on the Komodo decks are also on Pirate Chain, and the other things that are happening with the turtles also their decks. And so to be able to work between each other, we have our own wallet that we're rolling out right now for Ether One, where you actually can trade tokens across projects with privacy in a wallet, and you can actually use names and that kind of thing. So to be able to have cross development is really cool for us to work together, because we're all small and most of us are strapped for resources. So working together helps for development. Then Draeth talked a little bit about research and education. Part of our nonprofit drive is we have to basically be seen as an educational resource. So to let people, when they're out looking for, hopefully good information, the BPSAA will be a beacon of light that they can trust in this world of disinformation. And I think that that's really going to be powerful over time. And then on our most recent call, just this last weekend, we talked about best of breed and recognition. As we start to roll out the BPSA and it gets bigger, we want to bring in more projects, but we also want to recognize projects that aren't part of our organization and call them out for doing great things. If somebody comes out with a new great privacy protocol or does something really cool with regards to trading that helps you, keep it to yourself, or any of these things. So we're not just about only, let's say, our own projects that are in the association, but we also want to bring recognition to other people in the blockchain space that are doing cool things. And then finally, to wrap it up with regards to networking, with the BPSAA, you can talk right to the head of a project. You can network with leaders that are really doing kick-ass stuff, right? If you're saying, how do I really get to that lead developer? How do I get to the head of that project? I want to know more. We want to integrate. I want to get answers. When you're part of the BPSAA, you can go right to the top. And so it's almost like a trade association, kind of like your local chamber of commerce, where you can knock on that guy's door and reach him. So that's really nice. And then finally, I talked about legislation. Like it or not, the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain will be regulated. There will be more legislation, not only in the United States, but on a global scale. And to think that we can just avoid that, I think, is being naive. And what a better way for us to be able to have an association of really good projects to work together, to be able to have a voice to try to protect our privacy. Will we be able to do it completely? No. But I'll tell you what, if we're just going to let the sovereign nations roll over our individual privacy, somebody's got to step up. And I hope that the BPSAA will be able to help doing that. So that's probably more information than you wanted, but that's my spiel.
Cool. And then last to introduce from the team is Wookie.
Thanks again. I just want to say a few quick things. I droned on quite a bit about privacy earlier, but coming back to the BPSAA, privacy is a very important component to what we're trying to promote. And as a nonprofit organization, we've took on the directive, right, to educate the public about privacy. And as many of you have experienced or witnessed around, privacy is one of the first things to be thrown out the door for convenience sake, as we're all familiar with. So we've taken on the task of educating the public about privacy. And we're going to be working on privacy education and awareness content on our website. We're also going to be planning to host seminars for the public. Very basic things like a VPN, using a VPN, or if you are a bit more technical, and want to do node hosting, use either one, things like that. And so, with the projects that we've onboarded to BPSAA so far, so as you've heard already, Ether One has private node hosting, Ergo has a private DeFi, private money. Pirate Chain, right, is the most private digital currency, for you to go around and spend. And we're increasing the number of merchants we've onboarded that would accept Pirate Chain for you to buy goods and services from anything from. We've recently onboarded a legal service, a lawyer service, and also the other one that I thought was really interesting was a plastic surgeon. Yes, you can pay a plastic surgeon with Pirate Chain. And out of the other groups, with BPSAA that I really want to mention would be Sentinel. They have a decentralized VPN service. You could run a node for them and earn their Sentinel tokens. They also provide white label VPN services for other projects, and they're building one for Pirate Chain. And then our most recent and exciting member, Dragon Chain, is a business-oriented platform, but they provide privacy aspects for their business chains. So these are some of the BPSAA projects, and one of the things that we're really about at BPSAA is interoperability and collaboration. And so, we're having at our weekly meetings, we talk about projects that the different group members could collaborate on. So BPSAA is also about a brain trust and a mind share, and we bring together our technical expertise, and hopefully, all this is towards improving security and privacy. That's all that I have for now. Back to you, Draeth.
Yeah, and one last thing I wanted to mention is that, as some people may know, that Pirate Chain has a USB bootable operating system that was developed thanks to Lutz. And one of the things that's planned for the future is a standalone operating system that includes all the members of the BPSAA on there. So, for example, Pirate Chain will develop the OS with Ether1's storage on there, with Turtle Network's DEX on there, with Sentinel's DVPN included, with all these different projects Forte built into that operating system, so a person can log on, or not log on, but install it on a hard drive, get on it, and then be able to use the technology from every single project. So it's things like that we're focusing on development wise, including like a point of sale system to bring crypto to the masses for standalone stores to easily accept any crypto within any major crypto or crypto within the BPSAA. And then if they want, they can just easily convert it to USDT or any other coin that's stable to, make sure that there's no volatility in, the payments that they accept. So there's so many ideas that are just roaming around the BPSAA that are amazing that will eventually get developed. So.
Fantastic. Wow. Blockchain Privacy Security Adoption Alliance. You guys are really coming together and putting forth some good energy for us all. So we definitely appreciate that. And wishing you all the best, wishing you good luck. Once again, check out that website. And, we're gonna have a word over here with Ergo. And then we haven't heard from Lutz in a quick minute, so maybe he'll give us a howl on the Pirate Chain. And yeah, so we're just gonna move on. I hope everyone's having fun with those swaps right now. A lot of action. We're gonna get some stats very soon from Jay Charming. I'm just waiting for the word. But here we go. Sakata, why don't you give us a quick word then on what's going on for you at Ergo?
Yes, so I guess the purpose of this input is to morely define what Ergo is for a lot of people, as it seems that it's not really getting enough attention as it deserves. I mean, to help assist in explaining what it is, it's probably best to take a slight detour into how we've got where we are today within blockchain. So we started off in sort of the age of the UTXO, where Bitcoin came about and endless forks arose from that, characterized by slow block times, a lack of interactivity, and in essence, the purpose that Bitcoin was meant to fulfill didn't really achieve it in the long run in terms of the flexibility. Following the UTXO age, we had the era of smart contracts. Within this era, we saw that chains became useful. They weren't necessarily just a ledger anymore. However, from the beginning, deficits became apparent. For example, the DAO was hacked and $150 million was just wiped out of nowhere. As adoption has been climbing and Ethereum has annoyingly been leading this. The risks from the deficits have just gotten worse, to be honest. Contract hacks, Oracle exploits, and subsequently the flash loans that have come from this. That's not even considering the fees that have arisen. Undoubtedly, there has been progression in interactivity and utilization of blockchains. However, in the actual nature of progression itself, more steps have been taken backwards than there has been forwards in the principles of sustainability and at the price of security. Let's not forget about the endless supply cap that can be found on Ethereum. Thus, where does Ergo truly fit in with all of this? We had a transactional sort of blockchain area, followed by a generation of applicable blockchains as such. Now, this might be a little bit of a subjective definition, but for me at least, Ergo is the dawn of chain-based economic environments, a landscape of financial functionality. An easier analogy for some other people might just be financial firmware, supply of low-level components that a society really needs for an efficient economy. Different from Ethereum, which is more or less a platform, I guess Ergo acts as a podium for decentralized applications or whatnot, with the infrastructure that it comes shipped with. So, for example, in regards of infrastructure, we have Oracle Core, which is an approach to oracles. Oracle Core uses a sort of a pool methodology in contrast to Chainlink, for example, where you just have the data source off chain, a single API, which is purposed to bring this data on chain. And from that, you can assume it's pretty centralized. Further forward, I mean, we've already briefly touched base on the stablecoin that's on the horizon, another example of infrastructure, as well as Sigma protocols, which are used within ErgoScript itself. Something that I think Bitcoin is looking to implement as Taproot comes. In the near future as well, we do have a DEX coming on board. However, this isn't really competition per se with Komodo. This is just illustrating the direction for economic infrastructure that's taking place. So, for example, exchanging native tokens with the native currency Ergo itself, something a decentralized financial application would need. To look at the ecosystem that's being delivered from this, we currently have Ergo Auction House. That is a NFT-based bidding system where people can upload their NFTs, bid and whatnot, and ship their artwork with the transaction of rights to the winner. There's also Ergo Mixer as well, which is probably one of the strongest coin mixers within the industry. It's based on a paper called Zero Join, if you want to go and read it out. It uses the undistinguishable aspect of not being able to differ between two people within a box regarding transactions. But I guess the point of the matter is Ergo does truly evaluate the principles of the BPSAA regarding security, adoption, and privacy. So I just wanted to get that out there so all the Komodo community can possibly discover what else is available within this partnership.
Perfect. And we've got a few more minutes before we take this break, but that was very nice and appreciate having you here. And it sounds like you're putting in some good direction, a lot of creativity. And I think that that's what is best right now. I think it was Lutz mentioning about time building is a big part of it. And so this is what it's all about. And it's about all of us putting in our efforts. And you sound like you're definitely doing that. So where can quickly in 10 or 15 seconds, where can people find out more quickly about that?
Yeah, so if you just go onto YouTube, you can type in the ErgoCast, which is a podcast I co-host. We just had Dionysus on there, who is one of the founders of NeedPalPals and interoperability solution that we implement. Furthermore, if you go on the website, you've got Telegram links and things such as that. and the rest is self-explanatory.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we will be getting to Firo in just over 30 minutes. So stick around for that. We're going to have a 10-minute break in a few. We're going to hopefully hear from Jay Charming, just because we love his beautiful voice before we take that break. You never know. We're hoping to get some stats out. And yeah, yes, I definitely would love to hear from Lutz just for about a minute or two. Just share with us.
I'm
There's
here.
a lot going on right now. Yeah, go for it. Just sing us a shanty right now.
All right. So you know, guys, Pirate Chain is the most important technology to me so far. I've been here a long time, and I've been following a lot of projects, and I always followed the projects that had privacy options, right? I got involved in Komodo because they were going to have the first DEX, right? I mean, a DEX sounded like a great idea about 6 years ago, and still does today. And now they're coming to fruition. So this is like one of the most major times in history to be looking at DEX technology. There's so many coming out, but with KMD paving the way, by, you know, someone's got to do it officially, and they're biting that bullet, so that you could have this open source technology to use for yourself. So I think that I'm pretty sure that they're pressing you to build your own DEX. So it's not hard to fork a code. If you guys, you know, if there's some kids out there, look, if you're in school and you're just starting in technology, you should be looking into this technology. This technology is the future. You know, SQL databases and, you know, that stuff is old. That's ancient. No one wants to jQuery a database. Nobody wants to do that. That's not where things are going to stay. Things are going to get more decentralized, even for internally, for redundancy and for so many major good things that blockchain can bring us. But you know, always keep in mind though, a lot of these chains, they're not 100% private, like Pirate, right? So for me, there's only two chains. There's Monero and Pirate. Right. I like all these other coins because somebody has to build this stuff first. Right. It's not a matter of building it and it's going to be private at the same time. All these projects, Ergo, all these projects that are talking, they're building something. They're building the house, and then afterwards we'll fortify the house. Right. We'll find a way to make that private. But somebody has to do that original work first. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. Somebody has got to work on this stuff. Developers have to work. So, you know, if you haven't patted your local developer on the back yet, you should be. You know, these guys are amazing what they're doing for your freedom. They're here fighting for you, and you know you should recognize them. People
Hey,
work
Lutz.
full-time jobs. Yes.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, you were just about to say something real special there. So I didn't mean to cut you, but we are going to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go into that break just now. So just to quickly finish that off then.
Yeah, so there's people working in Komodo in this industry that have full-time jobs already. I used to come home from work to working 12 hours and do my radio station. Right after doing that, because that was my fun. I mean, that was work for some, but that was fun for me, right? So you guys can get involved. Anybody can get involved. This is a very open source community. There's no human resources over here that's gonna ask you for all kinds of personal information. This is an open source development area where you could find the footing, and you can make something, and you might even make some money off of what you make, depending how you do it, right? So there's a lot of great avenues to be your own boss in crypto, where you don't have that opportunity in real life. Okay,
well said.
I'll stop there.
Well said. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Well said. And we love to hear you. So anybody who wants to hear more from Lutz can join the weekly pirate side chats, right? And yeah, so that's wonderful. And on that note, Jay Charming, you have any last words before we hit this break?
Absolutely. I have an update on the stats.
Oh, that's what we want to hear.
Yeah. Pretty much 2,534 swaps. We're 30 minutes in. We have 117 users participated. I have a feeling that that our run from the last 3 events, that there were lots of people that were building up, and then a lot of them are asleep now, which seems almost like kind of appropriate for a privacy hour talk to do it when it's more quiet. But 2,534 swaps is still fantastic. I would love to see if we can break the 10K here and keep the trend going. So far, every event has beat the event before it by usually quite a good chunk. So even if they don't, 10K is good, and whatever we end up doing here with the privacy talks is probably significantly equally at least important to whatever the devs are going to get out of this, because this is really important stuff. Thanks.
Yes, and here we go to the break.
Where can people participate? Is there a link that you should be, we should be talking about? Where do people go to participate in this event?
You go to the Atomic Dex. It's in the Atomic Dex. It was we did just like a brief explainer right at the beginning, but you download the Atomic Dex, you go into the app, and you make swaps against Rick and Morty, and that builds these statistics on the board because we're doing blockchain analytics on it. So it's right there. Like,
App Store? Is this from the App Store?
It's from the App Store if you're on your mobile, or you can hit the download Atomic Dex button on atomicdex.io/stress test.
Okay, thank you.
And register if you want any of those extra prizes. All right, we're hitting that break. Thanks for being here, everyone, watching this live stream. We're coming back for some roundtable action and then a more in-depth spotlight with Firo. All right, see you soon. Finally, okay, we're back from that break. Hope you had a good break, but I'm sure many of you kept swapping along, so keep on swapping. And we're back here with some more time to spend with BPSAA members, Pirate Chain, Ergo, Ether1. We've got Ruben from Firo. We're gonna have a bit of a roundtable here, and then after that, we'll have that spotlight with Ruben. Lutz, I was just gonna mention, I had this thought earlier when you were just talking about just how much great energy you bring in, and you really do inspire people to participate, and you get people participating, and that's so awesome, and I really appreciate that about you and your efforts. We're going to move in here into a bit of a chat. I'm going to ask, where are we here? I'm going to ask Draeth to just quickly lead us off in this talk about privacy and blockchain security and all of this interweaving. Where are we going, and what is your sentiment around all of this?
Yeah, so in the current state of things, my thought process is this. You give an inch, they take a mile, right? So what I mean by that is every time a government asks, well, we need to start looking into this aspect of your privacy because of XYZ or terrorism or you name it, and then because of current events, people are like, okay, yeah, I mean, as long as you do that, that's fine. But then they take a mile by looking into way more than what you actually thought they were going to do. So at its current state, it seems like the sentiment among the average person is, well, if you have nothing to hide, why should you hide? Why should you have any sort of privacy? But what people don't realize is privacy includes a lot of things, and if you can't actually have privacy, you can't be your true self, because if you're always watched and you know it, then you can't act how you normally would act in any given situation, even in your personal situations. So crypto in general, with privacy coins, like real privacy coins, and also the BPSAA and other privacy projects are fighting back against that notion, saying you need to have your own privacy. It's a fundamental right to exist. You can't have people watching your every move every single minute of every day. You should have your own privacy. You should be able to be your true self, and you should be able to defend yourself against those who want to invade your privacy without any reason to. So
Here. And I think anybody understands the nature of privacy when you say things like bodily functions, and is just a certain way that we like to interact with our world and each other. And I think that my question is what you all think about what you would say to people, because it seems like the fear is around privacy. It's like there's something to be feared about money and privacy and transactions and privacy. What can we say about that? I'm going to ask Ruben to hop in on that one. Do you want to say anything about that?
You mean about like why people associate money and financial privacy as for illegal activity? Because, well, I mean, unfortunately, it seems to be the most obvious use case, right? But the key thing is that because financial privacy is only something that has come to the fore because of digital currency. I'm not talking about like necessarily cryptocurrency, but since the advent of digital currency, or even just a internet, like virtual money that's sitting in banks, because before this, cash was all private in nature, right? And no one asked questions because it was just private. And it's only now that we're starting to look at, as you said, CBDCs, or like in China, the DCEP, that, or even like all these, like e-wallet platforms, then only people start talking about financial privacy, because previously we had financial privacy by default. But now we are slowly losing that, going back, and in this era of big data, and this is why this whole concept of financial privacy is quite new. And unfortunately, it came around the same time as 9/11 and all of that, and many of our privacy freedoms, as not just in financial privacy, like okay, the Patriot Act also really hurt privacy there, but it's always been done in the name of protecting, fighting against terrorists, against national interests. When if you also take a look at a lot of the reports, these mass surveillance programs have often led to very few actual findings. So it's always like an analogy that I like to make is that, yeah, we can do all this stuff to protect people, but it's also about how proportionate is it, right? Yes, of course, all of us want to fight terrorists, all of us want to fight against illegal activity, but how proportionate it is if we have to surrender all our privacy. So, like, for example, okay, I go to the washroom and there's a chance that I may slip and fall in the bathroom. Yeah, okay, everyone knows this risk. Therefore, should I have a government agent in every toilet watching, making sure that, I don't fall down? I mean, obviously that's not proportionate, but similarly, what we are experiencing, especially with CBDCs, many of which have no privacy functions whatsoever. That means the government can just take a look at every single transaction. They have been pushing that narrative to say that if you have, if you, as the previous speaker said, that if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. And that's ironically, actually, that quote is from Joseph Goebbels, who is the Nazi propaganda minister, right? And it just goes to show that, yes, we talk about all this terrorist funding and whatnot, but actually it's all about control. It's about the government having, it really moves the bar between the state and the citizen, right? And where the state has so much power, we are seeing Big Brother. And that's why, kind of in Germany, if you take a look, they have defended cash like crazy because they know the power of money, and especially money that cannot be surveilled. So I do think that the governments are pushing this narrative to push their agenda to get more control. And remember, like in the US, you talk about the right to bear arms against a oppressive government, right? But hey, so what if you have guns? I can just cut you off from the entire financial system. How are you going to fund your movement? How are you going to feed your family, right? And if you allow CBDCs, if you allow all this surveillance cash or surveillance money, it is basically a government can cut you off from the financial system, maybe even accidentally, which has actually happened to a few people. So yeah, I mean, that's what I say.
Okay.
I think it's a false narrative. Yeah.
Can I jump in here?
Perfect.
I would have a question to ask for anyone to take in. I'm kind of interested to hear what you guys think about this or have to share. But it's kind of a loaded question. Like, what do you guys think about where we are moving, especially with new technologies coming, such as face pay, which those who don't know, like, means that they recognize your face when you're buying something on the supermarket, and then that's how you pay. So you just stand there and pay. Extreme convenience, but what about privacy?
Thanks, Otto. And yeah, we want to get to that question. I'm going to let you guys take a moment to think about it. Thanks for joining us in this roundtable. And it's a pretty big roundtable here, so we're trying to get around to everybody. I wanted to thank Ruben. That was perfect in the sense that you mentioned about proportionality, and that really relates to wisdom. Wisdom understands proportionality, and so we're looking for wisdom here. And also, you mentioned about propaganda and that sort of thing. That's pretty important too. I was going to ask hash rates of Ether1 if you wanted to jump in about anything relating to propaganda or anything that you heard. And then we're going to get to that question from Otto. So we're going to hear from somebody who hasn't spoken yet on that answer. Or hash rates, if you want to answer Otto's question instead, please do go for it.
Yeah, I'd like to chime in. There's without question, it has to do with financial control, and it's under the guise of saying that they're going to protect you from somebody else, and that's why they're doing it. And I like what he said about, oh yeah, it's Global says, oh, you've got nothing to fear. If you didn't do anything wrong, then don't worry about it. Whoever said it. And people say, yeah, well, I don't care if they listen, like having in like some type of what is it, the Alexa from Amazon or whatever, and they're listening to every word. So what I think is going to happen, honestly, is they're going to force you, and I mean you as an us, to make a choice, and that is you're either going to be illegal or legal going forward. You know, when they start doing KYC, for example, here in the United States, which are, you know, the Trump administration, Mnuchin, who's the head of the Trump administration's financial board, put out a thing that they wanted no KYC. You couldn't send money to an un-KYC'd wallet. So if you're with Coinbase in the United States and you want to send money to somebody, if the wallet's not registered, you're not going to send it. So that means if it's a soft wallet, a hard wallet, or paper wallet, you can't get your money out of Coinbase. And that means the same thing for Kraken or Gemini or any exchange. And apparently it's already actually happened, I guess, in the Netherlands, has got some type of registration, from what I understand, for for custodial wallets. So then you're going to have to decide, you want to live in the black world or the white world? And they're going to force you to make a decision whether or not you want to be breaking the law. And I see going forward that there's going to be two crypto worlds. There's going to be the gray world where everybody's got their offline wallets and they say, well, I've already got my crypto and I'm going to trade and I want to have my privacy. And then there's going to be the declared crypto world where if you've got your account with Coinbase or Kraken or any of these others, and maybe Binance later on outside, and then you're going to have your crypto that's declared. And they're going to force that on you. We will have to make a decision whether or not you want to break the law or not. And that will come. And how people do that and what the reaction is, I'm not sure. But that's coming. And for people to think it's not coming, I think is naive. And we're going to have to decide, am I going to want to declare all my soft wallets? Am I going to want to declare my paper wallets? And they're going to make you be a criminal if you don't declare that. And that's going to be an interesting decision that we're all going to have to make, because they're going to want to.
Sorry about that. Yeah, keep going. This is an amazing point you're making. Please keep going.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Well,
I know
and then
I get excited and I go off the topic. And so, you know, for me, I'm an older guy, right? I'm in my late 50s. I have a real day job. It's a great job, but I have like a double life already. And I tell people, especially even Ether One, you know, I'm part of the committee. I got elected to our council there. And I say, you're going to have to make decisions about your own privacy, and the government's going to force you to do that. And people say, yo, I've got a DEX and I've got this and that. And you're going to be forced into the black economy. So, you know, pretty soon you're going to have your, and for example, like just look what happened the other day with PayPal in the United States. You can buy Bitcoin, but you can't take it out. You can't use your own Bitcoin on PayPal. And then eventually they're going to open up 20, 30, 50,000 vendors or whatever where you can pay people. But all those people would be KYC'd. And it's going to happen first in the US, if not already, and it's going to spread. And then we're going to have two different economies. You know?
Wow, actually, this is, yeah, perfect. And you just kind of scared me a bit. Imagine if they capture, for example, the Bitcoin and then they don't release it anymore. That would be kind of scary. But anyway, that's another idea. Look, you mentioned about legal and making a choice between being legal and illegal, or even just this idea of privacy. You guys have made me think also about, there's talk in many different legal jurisdictions about like, needing some sort of a vaccine identification sort of thing. And it's like, you can't even have privacy around your medical stuff like that anymore. But that's another story. We have let's say a few more minutes left before we need to get on that break, and we still have a few guys to chat with us right now. I want to just quickly move over to Ergo's Sakata before we get to the Pirate Chain dudes, Wookie and Lutz. Ergo, do you have any things to talk about? Did you want to answer Otto's question about the face pay and technology in general?
Yes, so what Ruben and Draeth said definitely resonates a lot with me. Privacy isn't just about your finance, it's who you are, where you are, and what you are. And regarding what you mentioned about Germany, knowing the power of money and controlling that money, definitely illustrates this point. You also mentioned about the whole COVID ordeal in the UK, for example. They have used this pandemic as an excuse to install tracking software on mobile devices. In regards to the actual direction of privacy itself, socially, it's going to be endless. They'll keep going until they can get wherever they can, until they have full control and information upon everything about you. In the crypto space, I guess, I mean, it's a bit of a tough one, really, especially when you consider proof of stake versus proof of work. Proof of work is always going to be secure, and proof of stake itself, having to achieve that consensus and to verify transactions using actual equity hold is a real risk in privacy from my point of view. And the whole argument against proof of work being bad for the climate or whatnot, fusion energy is just on the horizon as well. So hopefully we'll start seeing quantum algorithms coming about, getting ready for quantum supremacy and taking privacy on board as much as we can as time progresses.
Sweet, lovely, good to hear. Good to hear. We're gonna ask Lutz to give us a few pieces of his mind before we finish off with Wookie. We have a few minutes here left, so Lutz, why don't you give us what you got real quick?
Look, there's if you look at it from a corporate point of view, and I like all the way you corporate guys think.
Oh, I think we've dropped you, Lutz. Okay, we've dropped Lutz. We're going to get back to you, Lutz. We're going to just move around to Wookie for the minute here. Wookie, can you talk? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I can hop in while he's trying to reconnect. I've been typing for a while. I have a few paragraphs and drafted. But in any case, I wanted to come back to, we've heard about, right, during this pandemic, how, well, actually, even before the pandemic, you've heard about the riots in Hong Kong. And I think many people have seen how, people were choosing to use cash to buy their train tickets, right, as opposed to using their cards that were tied to their personal identity to buy the train tickets for fear of reprisals that they're going to a demonstration. I understand a lot of parts of the world don't really give as much weight to personal privacy, to personal rights as the West does. But I think we really are entering a new era of this panopticon government economy, where everything that you do can and will be surveilled. And as I was writing earlier, I think trying to educate the world that this is something that's coming and to be prepared for it is sort of like, you now have cars, you now have airplanes, you need to start learning to wear a seatbelt. And that's as basic as it gets. I've been typing this for a bit. I'll just say, so with regards to, privacy, with private organizations, before it's all about your data, right? Facebook and Google just wants to know where you go online and physically by location on your phone, what stores you're visiting. But unless you give them permission, most of the time, they won't know if you're buying anything, or if you're paying with cash, for sure, they won't know that. But now with transparent currencies, they know what you're buying. And you can go to a store 10 times and not buy anything, and they'll just know that you visited a store 10 times. But when you actually buy something, they know that you like vodka. They know that you drink 5 cases of vodka a week. And that then has implications down the line. And so I just think, with digital currencies is a great tool. Coming back to what Ruben said earlier, this is all just a tool for us, just like nuclear power, right? It is a fantastic tool. It can bring a lot of clean energy to the world, but the tool itself can also be used for, bad things. So digital currencies itself enables a lot for humanity, but again, with it comes a lot of implications that we just need to educate the public on.
Perfect. Nice.
Mind if I take 15 seconds real quick?
Yes, definitely. Please go for it. And then we're out for a break. Come on, Draeth, bring it home
Sure.
for us.
Yeah. So one thing I want to mention is that for the first time in pretty much ever, we're ahead of the curve with crypto. We're so far ahead that governments and other agencies are trying to play catch up with us, right? So the way to succeed with this is to stay ahead of the curve. Now that we're ahead, we have to continue being ahead and continue developing and to continue creating these products that assist with people's privacy and security. I mean, this is a rare point in time that we're at, and we need to do our best to move forward with it.
Perfect. And I think just to close it out here, thank you very much to everybody for your candid thoughts about this during this privacy talk roundtable. And we're going to be moving on to a break, and then we've got the next segment. But as Lutz might say, you know, that's why anybody, if you care, you just need to get involved somehow. Just get involved somehow so we can stay ahead of that curve, like Draeth said, and the technology will bring us into this place that we want to be. All right, Lutz, you might be back, but we're getting out of here for a quick break.
Were you able to hear me?
No, we missed what you had to say, so we're gonna see if we can catch you on the other side. Yeah, no, we're really sorry about that, but we're going to you're still here, and we might even have a little extended time. We'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, so we are gonna hit this this break here. Otto, taking it over.
All right, we will take a break now. See you guys in 5 minutes.
Okay, greetings. Welcome back from that short break after that hour-long swap competition with the Atomic Decks in this stress test. You guys stressed it out. It's been quite a stress all along in these number of events. This is the fourth event, and I'm just going to need you to just hold on there a moment. Ruben wants to get in on this, and we're very excited to hear from Firo. Before that, we have Jay Charming. He's going to hop on in here and give us some update.
Update on the stress test for the swaps for this last atomic swap hour, which is over now. Everybody can keep on trading, of course, and see how far that they can push it before the presentation speaker that we have for this spotlight gets done talking. But as of right now, it is 5,273 with 143 users participating. I also have some exciting news from the dev channel is that it looks like we actually broke 100,000 swaps thanks to the Firo engagement and to this community coming here today. So everybody that's like here swapping, it's like we did it like 100,000 swaps. When we set our goals, our goal was let's do 10,000 swaps and let's try to get it by December 18th. And like we broke that in the first event, and our stretch goal was like, all right, let's see if we can get 100,000 swaps by December 18th. All right, now we're at 100,000 swaps. So now we're going to try to get 1 million swaps by the end of the year is basically what our mindset is. So we'll see what happens. This is super great. I've seen nothing but great comments from the devs, like tracking down bugs and doing like exactly like what they love to do, figuring out all kinds of things.
Cheers.
And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, cheers, all the hard work, and cheers to all the swappers throughout all these segments and in this past segment here in this fourth event. Keep on swapping, but yeah, thanks for joining and enjoying, hopefully, your Atomic Swap experience in this opportunity to use this Komodo Dex. Now we have an opportunity here to talk with Ruben from Firo. We're going to get to him. He's got some screen to share. Otto, we're ready with this. Ruben, I think it's your turn now. And thanks so much for joining us. You want to talk a bit about Firo, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Just making sure everyone can hear me.
Loud and clear.
And am I sorted with the sharing of the screen? Does that work? Jay Charming?
No,
No,
okay, all right, now we see your screen. Or I will put it on the screen in just a second. So you are good to go.
All right, great. So yeah, I'm Ruben. I'm actually the project steward of the Firo project, which we used to be called Zcoin until very recently. We recently completed the rebrand, and today we'll just be talking mainly about our new developments in the privacy protocol, especially Lelantus, which is really groundbreaking tech that has actually inspired a lot of other projects to the use of technology, including Monero with their new construction of Triptych, and as well as Beam, which has also used a modified version of Lelantus called Lelantus Mimblewimble. And yeah, so this is just a quick shout out that many of you might not have heard of Firo. I mean, we've been Zcoin since 2016, and we decided that it's time to have a new face. And I guess the main reason is that, well, we want to sound like money, and Zcoin doesn't sound like money. Firo is like 4 letters. It's it ties into our privacy mechanism, which is like burning and redeeming. And we also have often been confused for Zcash, or even when we started this talk, the topic of this title was like ZK Snarks technology, which we don't use. But yeah, so we wanted to make sure that our achievements stand on its own, and that we really want to be considered as a real currency. And Firo just ties in and ticks all the boxes there. Right. So this is just a very quick look at the privacy landscape, because this is in my opinion. Some may or may not agree. And I would say that no privacy coin, including ourselves right now, doesn't solve all the issues. It doesn't really tick all the boxes yet. And of course, Monero being the largest in market cap, and I think deservedly so, because they were one of the first few projects that really took privacy seriously. But they are, in my opinion, the technology is getting a bit long in the tooth with a ring CT anyway, because they mix with only 10 other people, so it's like an anonymity set of 11. But because they were the first ones that really pushed the mandatory privacy on by default, so despite their technology not being the best, but because of the practical implementation, they have medium to high privacy levels. They do conduct independent research. They just recently implemented Dandelion Plus Plus, and they're, I think, one of the most liquid privacy coins. But they are the most liquid privacy coin right now. Zcash, of course, it's the same technology that Pirate uses. It has the absolute highest privacy level of theoretically, and the practical privacy level I would say is medium-ish, because only a very small percentage of people use the privacy feature. So as a result, the practical privacy, because you only have a few people using it, so the practical privacy level is less than maybe even Monero because of low usage despite the high theoretical privacy level. Yes, it does have independent research, and also, but I don't think it has network layer privacy. That means the IP address may be tied to a particular transaction unless you use something else like Tor or VPN or so. So I just want to, maybe skip over the rest because we are short of time. But basically, I guess one thing we'll talk about, like the full Z to Z forks, like Pirate Chain, they're very high practical, theoretical privacy, medium high also in terms of practical privacy, because the only reason why it's not high is because right now as a a smaller coin, there aren't that many users, but it's no fault of their own. But yes, they don't develop their own privacy protocol, means they're kind of reliant on Zcash. And I'm not sure they have network layer privacy, but the liquidity right now
Ruben,
is kind
Ruben,
of.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but actually, like, we are still seeing it as starting screen. So maybe if you are in full screen presentation mode, it's on a wrong monitor or something like that's going on. Just to let you know.
But now?
Yep, now that changed. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, all right. I'll just do it in this format. Can you guys still read it?
Yeah, it's going great so far, and it's good. Thank you, Ruben.
Right. Okay, so Firo, of course, we hope to get the high theoretical privacy level Atlantis, and hopefully, because we are moving to a privacy by default model with a transparent opt-out, we hope to get the same levels of adoption as almost fully private, mandatory private, and hopefully, soon we can move to mandatory private. And yeah, I think I just want to kind of highlight the difference between theoretical and practical privacy. So, we all know that Zcash and the ZK Snots technology has, theoretically the highest privacy. Of course, it comes with certain trade-offs like trusted setup, using very fancy and experimental mathematics. But as you can see, because of the way people use it and because of very low usage, it becomes really easy to track down. So like this person was like, oh, I dare you guys to find out, which one is my transparent address from my shielded transaction. And because there were just so few transactions, this guy just made the guess, and yeah, he found it despite the very high theoretical privacy. And that's why stuff like Pirate that has enforces the technology in such that you can't go wrong by using it is the right way to go about it, and that's something we're moving towards as well. Let me move to
Fantastic. Okay. On that note, did you have more to share with us?
Yeah, quite a bit more. Am I out of time?
No, not at all. Not at all. We're hoping to also get Lutz or Wookie, Draeth from Pirate Chain, or anybody from BPSAA if they have any questions for you as well. We'd love to hear about the tech and how different privacy coin experts are finding solutions and that sort of thing. But please do carry on. This is very informative and enjoyable.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, I guess the basic idea is that, how our privacy works rather than in other mixes where you're kind of mixing and kind of hiding in a crowd. We take coins, we burn them and kind of destroy them, and then we can redeem them for brand new ones with no previous transaction history. And I guess the idea is kind of like footprints in the sand, right? You have some footprints in the sand, those are yours, you want to hide them. Monero, CoinJoin, Mimblewimble, they kind of obscure it by placing many other footprints around it to hide your trail, while ours is kind of like the wave washing it over and just kind of wiping your slate clean. And yeah, so this was previously in Zcoin. We used something called the Sigma protocol, which
Oh, did we lose you? I think we might have lost you there, Ruben. Is anybody losing Ruben? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
We'll wait for
I
Ruben
think
to come
so.
back. Yeah, we'll wait for Ruben to come back. Hopefully he can come back ASAP. Sounds good so far. It's reminding us that this idea of privacy and how to actually get it, how to actually create it and implement it is a real thing. And there are trade-offs and that sort of a thing. So anybody who's interested in privacy, I'm sure that's an interesting option. You guys from Pirate, Draeth, Lutz, Wookie, Ergo here and Ether1 as well. You guys have you coming up with any question or anything you are curious about in relation to this solution? And do you have any other general thoughts about how different privacy coins are trying to go about it? That kind of an idea.
Well,
You know, we're talking technology.
I do have a general thought on it. The term what is it? Optional privacy is like a two-sided term in my opinion, right? So optional privacy as far as the privacy protocol and the way the coins implement it, right? And then optional privacy in the sense of the user giving up that privacy for that transaction to prove that it happened, right?
sorry.
So in other words, optional privacy in my view it has two meanings, right? So one meaning, a chain allows private and transparent transactions, right? That's something that everyone's familiar with. But the other meaning to that, in my opinion, is also a chain that has full privacy and only allows shielded addresses or private addresses, private transactions, and the user having the option to prove that their transaction actually occurred without, having others being able to verify it through means of a transparent chain. You know what I mean? So giving that user the ability to say all my stuff is private unless I want to show you something is the method that all privacy chains should be following. You know what I mean?
Right.
To be considered a privacy chain. So Firo and Pirate Chain and all the others that are moving in that direction as far as the currency chains go is, in my opinion, the best path forward.
Right.
Ruben,
So,
you're back.
yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
So what I was saying is that, like trusted setup, although it enables really high anonymity and high privacy, to me personally, it is a potential problem, mainly because first of all, the constructions are very complex. Like, Zcash also had, like a vulnerability, and although there's no evidence that it was exploited, they can't prove that it was. But one of the things that they cited was like, oh, our math is so complex that only a few people could have known about this flaw, which is kind of bad because it's kind of like security through obscurity, which we know doesn't work in the long term, right? And so like trusted setup is kind of like a potential point that you need to trust that the setup was done correctly, that all the ceremony, there was no backdoor and whatsoever, and it kind of goes against the kind of spirit of blockchain, which has always been verify, don't trust, right? Of course, it comes with really good benefits. As you said, very small proof sizes, very great verification, high anonymity time, but it is a drawback, and that's what we're trying to solve with Lelantis, where we do offer very, very high anonymity, but without the kind of problems of trusted setup, and we're still using very what we call well-established cryptographic assumptions, and we still actually get pretty good performance. Like, although like the single proof takes quite a long time, but when you batch them together, the performance is actually almost quite similar to ZK Snark. So without using trusted setup, and proof sizes are pretty competitive as well. And we are really, this is kind of like a whole new family of privacy tech that doesn't rely on ring CT, doesn't rely on Mimblewimble, doesn't rely on ZK Snarks. This is something that we built using one of many proofs, which is now gaining traction in the Monero community and Beam as well. So this is just the first version of a Lelantus transaction, and this is already available on testnet. You can like give it a shot, and you can see that the source is hidden. The recipient gets the money, but you don't even know how much the change is. But with the second version of Lelantus, everything is completely hidden, and we'll move to have a 2 address structure. But right now we have, still have the transparent addresses. But as you can see, it's totally, the source is hidden, the change is hidden, and this will usually go back into the Lelantus big anonymity pool. And this is kind of like our new wallet, showing that, it's always prompting you to anonymize whenever you receive something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, go for it.
All right. So yeah, you know what? So it's called the trusted setup debate. People look it up. He keeps mentioning trusted setups. Yes. If you cannot trust one person in a group of 80 people, it still would not affect the trusted setup. So it doesn't. It's impossible for this trusted setup to really be compromised. But if that does worry you, which it seems to worry somebody, there's Halo 2 coming out, and that comes straight from Zcash. Now
Right.
The benefits of having technology come straight from Zcash is the fact that it's been audited multiple times, and you know that the code is a lot. There's no bulletproof code, but it's a lot more verifiable than something created by yourself. So who is auditing your code? How do we know we can trust that?
You're aware of Halo?
Sorry?
Ruben, are you familiar with Halo, Ruben?
Yes, of course, I'm familiar with Halo, and I'm familiar with the removal of trusted setup. It is still very new. It is still, I think, several years from deployment. So Lelantus is here today, and I do think that we still.
They're saying it'll be deployed by the end of the year.
We'll see. Yeah, the end of this year? No, very unlikely. Very
soon.
Unlikely.
Okay, Ruben, continue with what you were just saying there, and then because we have another, let's say, a couple minutes, and Ruben, you were just saying something. Just quickly say that.
Yeah, so the thing with the trusted setup is that, this is of course the Zcash narrative that, like even the initial sapling one was like, you could trust like 5-6 people, that none of them, as long as one of them destroyed it, that would be fine. And well, it turns out that there was a flaw in the ceremony. So even if everyone was behaving honestly, there was actually a flaw in the sprout ceremony. So of course we believe that it should have been solved by the sapling ceremony, but it's still an element that is desired not to have. There was an actual flaw that could have resulted in inflation in Zcash. So I do feel that to just say, we're trusting Zcash, which you have to realize, Zcash also, when they disclose their flaw, they did not disclose it until they did their own thing. So you kind of have to trust the Zcash team not to hack you, right? And this is also, they also chose not to disclose to certain projects because they didn't have good relations with them and stuff like that. So of course, that's kind of like a point of centralization. And I guess the idea of Lelantus was like, look, we want to make it simple enough so that not only one entity can understand it, that everyone can understand it and audit it themselves. And
Cool.
the library is audited by the best company, Trail of Bits, and the cryptography is also audited by cryptographic professionals. Of course, Zcash has really good resources as well, but it doesn't mean that other people should not. And I'm not crapping on ZK Snarks and stuff. I think it's great technology, and I really like what Pirate Chain has done. But what I'm saying is that there's no perfect thing. There are some drawbacks to Zcash, and therefore we should also explore other privacy mechanisms that offer like a very good, well-rounded kind of privacy. And who knows, maybe ours fails, maybe Zcash has a like critical vulnerability, or Halo doesn't pan out. We have to have more options because there aren't that many options providing privacy right now. So yeah.
Yes,
I-
beautiful. I'm glad you said
I
that.
disagree. We only need one option, and that's privacy. Once you have
You-
privacy, then you could give consent, right? And consent is what it's all about, right? If you have, it's like buying a speaker system that's not components. I mean, you could buy the all-in-one solution, but you would rather your stereo system be component, right?
Well, then we all should drive the same
Possibly,
car.
well, here we go. Here we go, gents. I
Everything
love
should
this.
be
I love.
separate.
Hold on here. This is amazing. And if you guys want to hang around afterwards and keep chatting, this is going to be amazing. I do think that it personally, I think it's important that we look at the options is good. I'm glad you brought up that point there, Ruben, just in general, because it's true. The more things we explore and try, even as much as they might fail or succeed, is it just brings us closer and closer to where we want to get. And I'm so glad that there's so much passion for privacy. I'm so glad, and I hear it from you guys, and I hope we can keep this going. But unfortunately, right now, I need to send it over to Jay Charming just to get some words in before we end this, officially end this stream. But then we'll keep going, hopefully, with anybody that can hang around and have some words. All right, go for it, Jay Charming. You're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love all this conversation. Did I get that? I'm gonna share. Okay. I really love all this conversation. Overview. Everybody made it over 10,000 by the end of the of Firo's spotlight. That's actually pretty awesome. Good job to all the swappers out there. So right now we're at the end of the event. BPSAA, Firo, Ergo, and all the projects that are here and the people that are talking about privacy. This is really, really great conversation. I would love to hear it go on. Maybe we could persuade Otto to either plug a new stream, like post-event that just like picks up and keeps on going, or just let this one run for a little while. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to talk a little bit while he figures out if that's something that can be done, because this kind of talk, this kind of chat, one, it's highly valuable. Two, it really hasn't been happening a lot in the past year. Conferences just haven't been around. So this is information that'd be great to get out to people. And I think that we've got like a great space here where people aren't necessarily like arguing, or either it's like, Lutz is talking about, we're after consent, and then it's like, we can ask like a group, and it's like, what does consent mean when it comes to your coin and things like that. There's some really great topics that can just kind of hold over here. Maybe like there are going to be questions from Discord. But first, to end the hour, to end the event, I want to say thanks to everybody that came. Thank you for Giuliano for emceeing. Thank you, Otto, in the back. Thank you, devs that are doing the work, that are refilling the order books, because while we did all that hard work for the past, 32 hours. Is that what it is now? Is that how long I've been up? Well, we've done all that work getting rid of all the orders. Apparently, somebody just popped in and filled them back up. So now we've got to take them back down again. So we are officially over 100,000 swaps in total, 10,000 swaps for this event. And I have the last bounty cash prize and the kind of like surprise going on that I'm going to announce here. So give me just a second to pull it up and show it on my screen. Are you? There you are. So right now, Komodo is leading an AMA at the top of our cryptocurrency. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it is the largest cryptocurrency communication sub on Reddit. And I want to encourage everybody to go there. I'm going to drop a defer link in the Discord chat, so everybody can arrive without necessarily like being tracked where they're coming from. It's just derefer link. That way Reddit doesn't actually know like if you're coming from Discord, if you're coming from somewhere else. And I think there was a member of the community that showed this to me, and I absolutely fell in love with like doing this kind of stuff. So here it is in the chat. We're going to batch out orders of Firo to everybody that was doing atomic swaps. Come and make a comment, reply to people, do something, upvote on this sucker. And then when you come to the Thursday meetings, if you made a top level comment, you can get some rewards done if you got some answers from the team in there. I'm going to be in there. The team is going to be in there. We're going to be answering questions. We're going to be doing stuff. Swarm us. This is kind of your like, after hours special. Stay and listen to BPSAA. Listen to Firo. Listen to Ollie talk about Ergo. If anybody's going to stay. Thank you to Giuliano. And I'm going to check in with Otto to make sure that we might be good to keep on recording. What do you think, Otto?
I think what we will do, we will cut this recording here. So this is the official event for recording as it was intended to be. And then we are gonna take a short 10-minute break to discuss our plan. And if everyone wants to continue, we will come back online in 10 minutes. And those who are watching this not live, then you will find the recording from our YouTube channel if that indeed happened. So that's what I would say we do here. How does that sound to everyone?
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
We'll bring it home here. We're going to say bye and thank you to everyone who participated. Thanks to Wookie and Draeth and Lutz. Thanks to Sakata and Ergo. Thanks to Hash Rates and Ether1. Thanks to Ruben and Firo. And I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. And I'm definitely not forgetting thanks to Auto and Jay Charming. Giuliano here. We're going to say bye for now. We'll come back after if you're still around to watch it. And
don't forget to come to event number 5. That's going to be on Sunday, December 13th at 11:30 AM UTC. So we've been running them basically like 4 hours back to back. We have 2 more swap hours left. They're both going to happen on Sunday. Sunday is the big one where we have it's called an interop hour, where we take all the projects that we couldn't justify, like saying you can have your own spot, and we smooshed them together and we said, you've all got some audiences, you got some registrations, you got some stuff. We're going to put you together and we're going to have like our own talks and things like that. And who we have showing up is we have Ravencoin, we have Navcoin, which interestingly enough for privacy is going to be releasing a new protocol in 2021 that has to do with their nav addresses and privacy. Varus, which I believe is a privacy pursuit project.
Truth and privacy. Yeah, truth and privacy.
Yeah, and they have something with privacy and identity as well. And Ravencoin has a lot of cool stuff going on. So 11:30 AM UTC. It's going to be in your email. You can go to Twitter and you can get it off the pin there. You can go to Reddit, you can get it off the pin there. You can stop by our cryptocurrency subreddit and you can see that we're pinned up there on that massive subreddit, taking questions and fielding stuff. And yeah, thank you everybody for downloading the Atomic Dex and making some swaps today. The entire team is absolutely tired, and I couldn't be happier.
All righty, Jay Charming, you're going to go plug himself in to the wall and recharge those batteries. All right, we'll see you guys
going
around.
Straight to Reddit. See you guys.